All right, everybody, forgiveness class. I want to discuss some few random things that help, but there's also sort of a price to forgiveness. But what I wanted to mention first is that nobody talks about the fact that the whole notion of forgiveness is a huge breakthrough. And if you read the Old Testament stuff, if you read the Psalms and things like that, everybody gonna kill each other, or you want them to kill each other and stuff like that, which is a normal human, and maybe probably other species too, response to things that invade your life or destroy it or betray it. Anyway, they just have them dead, and that we all kind of feel that way. I was talking to somebody yesterday who said, well, yeah, for a long time I went between should I kill myself or the other person. That's the big old choice. Anyhow, the whole notion of forgiveness is a big damn deal. That you can be forgiven for whatever you did wrong. And the sin, I'm going to tell you again my definition of sin, which is anything you do or say that makes it more difficult for somebody to love themselves, love others, or love God. Or be joyful in God, or peaceful, or stuff like that. Peace, joy, and love are the three spiritual biggies that we have. And we don't develop them. We don't develop them very much. But maybe we're going to do that pretty soon. I don't know. But anyway, forgiveness is a big deal. So you're not going to kill anybody. That's why I tell you, or say all the time, the very most primitive understanding of forgiveness, the breakthrough understanding, is that you are not going to take revenge. Now that comes at a cost. You're going to have to give up all sorts of resentments and stuff. You do not have to love the asshole who killed your child. You do not have to love. To forgive means you're going to not take revenge. It leaves open the door for reconciliation, but you do not have to walk through that door until you're ready, and you may never be ready in this lifetime. But anyway, the very basic thing of saying I forgive you means you're not going to take revenge on that person or those people or whatever. And if they say I forgive you to you, that means they're not going to take revenge. Either kill you dead or, as we talked about, this passive aggressive, be a bitch the entire rest of their life just to make sure they know they're past. Anyway, you're going to give up on that. So that's a price. The forgiveness is not free. It is a price of the discipline that you have to accept for yourself. And remember, I watched about 90 seconds of this film that on YouTube thing, and I heard I didn't hear for myself at all. But anyway, but I heard me say something about all around revenge. Anyhow, I want to talk about something else too, because it helps in the whole matter of forgiveness and it be whole. The more whole and healthy you are, the more easy it is to forgive. That doesn't mean it's easier for you like somebody. Don't get mixed up between love and life. Don't get mixed up between love and romance, affection, sexual attraction. Don't get mixed up between all that stuff and love. Those are nice intros, but they're very short-lived and they're unstable. They're unstable. Don't get mixed up. Love is more closer to commitment than it is to feeling anything. And the feeling stuff, that's all your brain stuff. You have to understand you've got three pieces of your life, personhood, that you have to deal with. You'd have to deal with your, or don't, but I should have some form of attention. Your body, your brain, and your spirit, your soul that lives in your heart. That's its home for while it's here. Your heart. And the soul lives in that community center of your heart. And you have to be able to let anybody in your community center, including Donald Trump, their heart. I mean, it's got a sweet little heart. You just never use it. It's very neglected. But, it's there. The fact that it's not used and it doesn't invite anybody in and stuff like that, that's a different question. Remember, we're just doing the dynamics of forgiveness, how to forgive. You ought to be able to let somebody in your heart. You do not have to like them. You can hate them. So you don't have to like them. But you have to let them in your heart. Okay. I was talking to my sister-in-law, who's an Episcopal priest. And she was in a spiritual growth class with a whole bunch of people. And so whoever was running the class asked, what do you feel, what do you think, what do you believe that God feels about you right this very minute? And she said that God loves me. And everybody else said they felt that God was somewhat disappointed in them. Now that is terrible. That is terrible. That is work with the dark side of Christianity. It's got tons of do-nots. And as you sort of got a school, that's not good and not God at all. And then somebody was saying the other day in one of the Bible studies, it said, I stray a lot. I stray, telling the guy said that I stray a lot. But God was very uninterested in that comment. And I said, look, you are no Olympic strain. You are not, you're just not even in the running. I said, God's an Old Testament favorite, David. Well, what a great guy he was. He sees somebody's wife, he goes and has sex with her, gets her pregnant, tries twice to get the husband back in town so he can lie with her, so maybe it's his baby, but the husband is on call for the military, so he won't do it. So then, what does David do? Say, oh, well, he gets his general to arrange for the husband to be killed so he can, go. So that he can marry her and we'll solve this problem. But for heaven's sakes, that is, if you consider you're straying the fact that you sort of wander off, I mean, David's going to beat you every time, let me tell you. And this is God's faith. That's like we're all descendants of David stuff. Just stop the negative thinking about yourself. Or thinking that God thinks. We're all figuring that God thinks we did it wrong. And you know what we do? We raise the bar. Every time we do something right, we raise the bar so maybe we did something wrong. We jumped out, it was 5 feet, but we didn't jump over 6 feet. Oh, please. Stop it. Just stop it. It's like forgiveness but we don't have to be forgiveness for our negative feelings. And then we think that what we really wanted for God to change us to be sort of the urban people. I have this post called the Prayer World Blog, every day I'm a morning person, and I'm pretty mean and short, unattractive and stuff at night. And so I said I want to be meaningful and all sorts of stupid words. I want to be helpful and meaningful as actions at night. And God says, too bad. You're not a night person. I'm expecting God to say, oh yeah, let's work on it. No, not me. And I better. So if you're feeling negative about yourself because you feel God feels negative about you, that's drop it. I mean, and it's a time now I'm pretty sick, and I'm sure everybody else is sick. Everybody's sick of feeling bad about themselves. And you ought to just stop it. Don't psychobabble us. Don't psychobabble yourself out of why you feel bad. Just stop it. Like you're not going to take revenge. You're not going to take revenge on yourself by feeling lousy about yourself. You're just not going to do it. And let's see what other options are out there. Not necessarily feeling good about yourself. You can still get real depressed and everything else, angry. But stop this chronic feeling bad about yourself. And you can find out all of the reasons. You can psycho yourself to death, finding all the reasons why you feel bad. And that's very interesting. But you know what? Explanations don't heal. They're interesting, but they do not heal. How you broke your leg is interesting, but probably has nothing to do with the doctor who said it. Explanations do not heal. And also, healing takes a long time. Healing takes a long time in your body, mind, and soul. So we have an instant culture. I've already run on down to McDonald's. We like instant. And in fact, we're very corrupted by our privilege. We have too many choices. We can distract ourselves. We can do this, that, and the other thing. We have too many. There's too many ways you could just get out of dealing with yourself. Now I'm supposed to be talking about the gifts. Let's forgive yourself and get on with it. You're not going to be perfect. There is no perfect. Do not raise the bar on yourself. In fact, lower. God's forever lowering the bar. You think you should do something, God will say rest. You know, it needs to be about rest. Resting is the Christian, actually an Abrahamic obligation, not an option. Well, I just love, the other day I talked to someone, he said, well, I just love switching to my job by taking care of the bandit. And I said, well, okay, that's nice and another activity, but what do you do just to hook yourself up to the electrical chargers, consider yourself, we're all probably for the electric, but that's going to happen next. We're all to hook up to that machine and recharge. But anyhow, we got to rest, and if you don't know what it is, and again, you're not going to be an Olympic rester. Probably. If you said to you're going to rest in half hour for when, that may seem like a century. I had one person sit on the bed, and she pillows off the bed up like that. I mean, she got so she could do her whole half hour, but she's still not an Olympic wrestler. You're not. And then when you take time for yourself, you take time to sort of sit in the presence of God. Then I was going this way. Anyway, if you do all that, don't set yourself up like you can't do it like a monk who's supposed to live by himself on a tree, underneath a tree somewhere in rural Arkansas. You're not a monk. I'm not a night person. Sorry. You're not a monk. You're not going to ever have to spend 12 hours. You're not the Dalai Lama. You do not have to get up at 3 in the morning to say your prayers. You just don't. Anyway, it's important, I guess, to forgiveness, why I'm jacking on like this. It's very important to be yourself and learn the difference between yourself and your ego. Your ego is run by your mind. Your mind's good, and it tries to, we talked about this a million times, it tries to do spiritual stuff. It tries to take care of your spirituality, but it's not very good at it. And its mind is sort of what built this scale of whether you're good, bad, or terrible, that you got to grade yourself on your spirituality. That's your mind trying to help you be spiritual. But you're better off being a slob in yourself and living in your heart. And your mind has a role in your life, a very big role in your life. As I say, you would not ask your mind how to get from Little Rock to Tucumcari, New Mexico, even though it's a straight shot. You would not. You would ask your mind that. You wouldn't ask your heart. You would ask your heart how to get to the beach. You know, that's it. That's crazy. But also, it's praising about an inventory for your report card spiritually. It's ridiculous to have a spiritual report card. As I say, we're all getting a C anyway, whether we're getting D's or A's. We're just going to get a C. You know, I told this story a million times about my friend Rose, who she got 55 million things done, who was telling me all about it. I said, that's great, Rose, you got a C. A C? I said, yeah, that's the highest grade you can get. But they do great or not. God's not interested in your grades. God's interested that your heart gets open, that you visit with God in the soul, and the place that the two of you live together in this community center, where everybody is allowed. See, your heart's a community center, not a club. It's not a church club, religious club. It's a community center. Everybody. You should have been well ahead. We see Sunday with this crazy lady ran in, interrupted the sermon, told him to talk about the gospel. So I really good with these people. And put herself down up here at the altar and stuff like that. Eventually, we get out her hall. But, you know, God's more interested in how you deal with the crazy person than in everybody that heard the word of God. That was the word of God walked in him. Anyhow, back to forgiveness. Let's talk a little bit. I'm talking all the time. Let's talk a little bit about forgiving others. Last time we talked about forgiving others, that's what we talked about us. Let's talk about letting others forgive you. Dude, that's a little harder. And you just say, acting, somebody comes up to it. But they tell you, remember, keep the definition tiny. They tell you they're not going to take revenge for the fact that you made it harder for them to be happy. And harder for them to be peaceful. For part of them to accept fraud from someone. They're not taking revenge on that. It may not like it, but they're asking you to accept the fact that they're not going to take revenge. All of this, that's why we need to have this big circle around feeling okay about yourself and just shutting up about it. Really glad. You can work on it, but just stop it, too. The feeling lousy about yourself. Like God's disappointing. Food. It's not true. It's not true. Now, as I said, forgiveness is a huge, great tool in human behavior. If there's an option other than shutting somebody forever, or hating them forever, or just being furious at them forever, resenting them forever, there's an option that you can let them in your house. You don't have to thumb it or get lightened. You have to let their soul come in. Yes, it can. You might not be able to do that right away. Teaching painting. Part of the responsibility of the forgiveness model is that you have to let yourself be whole. That doesn't mean you're crazy about it. you could read as wonderfully. I don't know whether anybody's read about the police reconciliation committee at the Bishop changing either design. But the remarkable thing happened. I remember a lady whose son is killed by somebody. She was kind of a friend with it. Now that's, but you don't have to be kind of a friend. You just don't take her thing. You let their soul go down to your card. And to your community center, because community center, anybody become all sorts of real crap that you don't like, politics you don't like inside. Oh, politics. I told this story, I guess, last time, but anyway, about when I taught religion at the cathedral school in a 6th grade class. And I asked the class whether they had read and lived 1 week in the lifestyle that they had lived for indefinitely under what they perceived to be Soviet communism at the time. The whole class chose. This is a crucial problem, particularly with white people in the USA. We said we admire way of life more than by itself. I mean, that you were told was devastating even then. It's because you didn't like the political system. You couldn't blame anybody and you couldn't be so. You couldn't be happy and joyful. Then let people make you that, and you couldn't make others happy. You couldn't make others feel the same you can. They have it's optional. But we've given so many options that it's corrupted us into thinking it's more important than simply being alive. And I remembered the Russian president, I can't remember, was here in the U.S. and he accused of doing something. Whoever was taking it down had to stop. And wherever they went out to go to the grocery store. So this, I wish I could remember whether it doesn't matter though. Anyway, he went in, took with his host into his supermarket in Houston, and he just burst into tears. He never ever seen that much stuff. Just abandoned it. Anybody in that icon. We have so much stuff. All of us need stolen for houses to buy that have enough storage space. Anyway, park one kind of. I guess what the point today is, please do not feel bad about yourself and stop it. There's a lot of it's just a bad habit. It's just a bad habit. You're used to it. It's a dark side, as I say all the time, of Christianity, the negative. Do not do this, do not do that, do not, do not, do not, do not. We never confess our goodness stuff we did. We never say, guess what, today, I paid for a crazy lady to get home on the bus. I took her home. We don't ever say it is something good. We only say, oops, we didn't do it right. So sometimes take this confession of sins and turn you around into consider free confession of your blessing. Just come in. Just see that maybe sometime you did something good. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Any questions? That's a nice ad. We have right to tell her when she offends you. It's not a comfortable situation for anybody. But also, you can say, I forgive you. Forget the I'm sorry, stuff like that. You can say, I forgive you for your offensive comments that are making it hard for me to love you with life again. You can say that. And you have to, but again, you will have and just leave that alone. Just leave that alone. So that's her way out of the conversation. You don't have to like her, but you have to let her little soul come in. It doesn't particularly want to. I could tell you that. I mean, some people just have very, very difficult personalities. They're really hard to get along with. For all of us. They don't specialize on just one or two people. I mean, there are some people who do that too. There's some people who are just fucking difficult. They have difficult personalities. They say the wrong thing. They overstate the thing. They try. They're just beautiful at it. And with something like you, it's hard to understand. They're pretty good at finding good relationships. And being like, I mean, it's just, and it's good if you know that about yourself. If you're difficult, it's better if you don't have your ego. Evidently, I was the speed person to be friends with. What's not like my mother said, I've just quoted this a lot. And my mother said to me, she said, I don't think my age means as much to as many people as you do. And I said, I don't baby. I think I'm very, very typo friend, I think. And it's not that I tried. It's not that I try and think about it. It just sort of happened. But I was in boarding school, about seniors were supposed to give away their stuffed animals to the new people. And everybody got one or two, and I got 15. And I didn't even tell the people to give it to them. So, I'm not proud of it. I just an observation in myself. And then all of us have friends. Well, all of us have people who are in the category that piss us off just because they exist. And I have 2 or 3 of those. And I think, oh, I must be feeling much better about Christine. And I see Christine, who I haven't seen in 10 years. And she pisses me off just as much as she did before. I mean, they're just people out there. The chemistry's all wrong. So you let the souls in, but just save yourself some of that. But some people are just difficult, and you have to know which those are. The ones you're going to have to put up with are just difficult. You're afraid you talk about the phone and some you just delay because they got thought 45 minutes. Non-stop. You have to separate range like to call about, but they can't stop. They can't stop. So, I was thinking about, I was saying the other day that we don't have 30 million sins in there. We have about 3 sin categories, 3 least sortable categories we were supposed to bust up off. That is, and it was betrayal or abandonment. One is helplessness, but patience and respect. I mean, it's fairly serious, but I do what particularly followed on Russ Cat first, right? With full. Oh yes, well, airplane love is the very easiest way to love everybody. Just think of yourself as 35,000 feet in the air, and all those human beings out there are just as cute, lovely as they could be. So you don't have to. The difference is, with airplane love, you do not have to have the intimacy of letting them in. That intimacy doesn't mean that they're your best friends forever. It just means, and if people go in and out of it, are there about community center. It's an intimacy issue border. It means you have a relationship again. That's exactly right. There yet. Now all those the 2 or 3 people all of us have that just business off because they exist. They can get me into community center, but you do not have to make them. You don't have to do things with it. They just come in. Oh. No, they can't be because they're comfortable. So, it just, you don't have to try. I mean, I'm proud of myself because I discovered years ago that one of my best gifts is the fact that I am incredibly lazy. And I don't have the energy to kick you out. You know, I'll talk to somebody, I'll say, Carl, I just met so-and-so, she's so painted, she's in the ditch. But I'll talk to him and I say, I don't have the energy that you can go deep into your side. It's hard. But on the other hand, I can fully see. Any questions? That's good. Yeah, it's very good because you put it on you, not Dad. Well, that's true, but you're a big AA person. They have it best too. They know that this business more than anybody. The AA do, but that's beautiful. Yes, you owe her immense for not letting her know how offended. That's good. Well, it's good because you keep it to yourself. Nothing's worse than the attack mode, where you really want to tell you how horrible that person is. Kill him. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah, keep it on yourself. You cannot affect any other person's behavior significantly. And if they all of a sudden end up behaving in a way that you like, you just say thank you. That's the big point we have not discussed today is the role of gratitude. And we're not going to. I'm not tired of talking.